So I'm here to talk about Konarka. It's a small company, as you said. But it produces flexible, shapeable solar cells made of plastic. It also is innovative in its production. It uses very high-speed, low-cost production. And the product is very innovative because it's flexible. And so this can be used in a variety of different products, ranging from clothing to building construction, to microelectronics and many other things, and I'll speak about a few of the new products that they're developing. So obviously this is a sustainable product because it collects renewable energy from the sun, but it has two other features. The cost and the toxicity of the materials is much lower than if you're using silicon-based cells. Also the availability of the materials that it uses is much more readily available than silicon-based cells. Also, the production process that it uses is much lower temperatures and less energy intensive. So what I like is that they're not only producing sustainable products, but they're introducing sustainability into their other aspects of their business, like production. So the result is that Konarka Power Plastics provides unique and sustainable products. And one of the ones that they are implementing right now is a stationary umbrella that provides shade while also charges your electronic personal devices at the same time, which would be a great place on the patio, I think. So let's switch to the next slide here. So I'm just going to give you a little history of the company. That may be hard to read, so I'm going to summarize what's up here. So the technology was developed from a group of scientists from UMass Lowell and other institutions, and they worked together to develop the low-cost, flexible solar cell material. So they joined together to develop the company Konarka, and they received a lot of support from UMass Lowell in the form of financing, but also in the use of technology and equipment in developing their product. So now they have a partnership, to my understanding, with UMass Lowell to connect current students with the company, and so there's a learning process because the company came out of that university really. A lot of the new students are learning how that process happened, while also learning about the innovative technology that they're using. So one of the main drivers for this technology was that the existing solar cells were very cost prohibitive, time consuming, and limiting beyond just the traditional large solar panels that existed. Additional reason that they were working on this is that the U.S. military was increasing their usage of electronic products. They were also going to very remote areas. So they had the need for more flexible, and the other sense of the word, portable devices that could power themselves. So there was two drivers behind this technology. There was a few barriers at first where Konarka realized that at first their solar cells didn't have the same lifespan or the energy conservation ability as the traditional solar panels, which would be a major deterrent for customers. So they received funding from UMass and from other investors and raised over $170 million to bring in people who could fix this problem for them. So research scientists and industry leaders. So the result was that they were able to develop this product, and they're now producing many different varieties of product. So the solar flexible cells capture both indoor and outdoor light. They convert it into direct current electricity, and the electricity can be used immediately. It can be stored, or it can be converted into other uses. So just what's happening next with this company is that they've developed a partnership with the Aluminum, that's the word, and Glass is the name of a company, where they are developing and building integrated solar cells. So the solar cells are in the building materials, and the building is able to act as a large solar panel and produce the power for the building itself. So it's a really new, creative, and sustainable innovation. Any questions?
Yeah. What is the solar ion efficiency rate of these thin film?
I don't know that. I don't know the exact. It wasn't provided in my research.
Okay.
6 to 8% is what
6 to 8, whereas the norm at the moment is still around 16 to 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
So that was definitely an issue that they were facing, that I think you're probably still working with, obviously.
How is the energy?
Claims that they could do it flexible because Konarka Solar in Connecticut, they have different technology for flexible films. They claim it's like a sandwich. They claim you could achieve to go a really wide band. So each layer will grab different wavelength. The one that these guys don't use, and therefore they could go 15, 16.
Yes, you have a question?
Where do you store the energy that is collected?
Again, I don't know, I haven't seen the product but it would be part of the product. I don't know how to use it.
They don't have they use other people's energy storage solutions.
Okay.
It's really just generation. So
Okay.
again, you know, what I'd encourage people, these are, the book we're doing will have about 100 different examples. So if you have suggestions of other examples, we're not trying to pick the best. We're trying to pick interesting ones. In this case, the partnership with the university, the partnership with the Defense Department, so you could get enough money to truly develop kind of first generation applications of flexible solar, thin film solar. There are other thin film solar companies. We just chose this one because it was an interesting kind of approach to getting around some of the barriers. But if you have other examples, this book, we end up with about 100, which is probably what we'll do. There will probably be about 30 in clean and renewable energy. There'll probably be about 20 in sustainable agriculture, maybe 20 in sustainable development, maybe another 15 or so in water. So it's going to cover the full spectrum. So if you have others that you think would make good stories for this book and would represent good learnings to companies trying to develop innovations to drive sustainability, please let us know.
The danger of something like that, the cost of electricity that they produce is 10, 20 times more than conventional solar produce. So even though definitely next generation definitely gives other advantages, this is the danger, and this is where people point finger and say, oh, it's just sustainable for the sake of sustainability. It doesn't address any economics.
But the advantage with that system is it's not just contained to the roof, you can put it into the glass and the sides of the building.
Yeah.
So if you take something like the Hancock Tower, you take that floor plate on the roof, and you put it on the east, west, and south sides, even at the lower efficiency, you've still got a tremendous gain.
We're gonna have to move
Cost,
on.
and the cost is cheaper.
Yes, right. No, this was a cheap. This was intended to be a cheap solution.
Plastic.
It's not as efficient solution. It's not a high-tech solution. It's a cheap solution to thin film solar. You could write a whole book on thin film solar. That's not what this is. This is intended to kind of just cover the waterfront, so to speak, of different interesting companies that are doing interesting things to innovate in the area of sustainability. So what I'd like to do now is introduce, thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
And